There are moments when silence feels heavier than words. When your soul aches in places that language can't reach. When the weight of simply waking up feels like too much. This message is for those moments. This message is for the broken. You've carried pain no one sees. You smiled through days that hollowed you out. You stood in crowds and still felt alone. And though the world may not understand, God does. He has watched every tear. He has seen every silent scream. He has sat with you in the shadows, never turning his face away. You may think he's far, that your cries have echoed into nothing, that your pain is wasted, your story forgotten, your future erased, but none of that is true. God whispers now, I have not left you. In your most shattered places. He's closer than your breath. He is not repelled by your pain. He is not offended by your weakness. He is not distant from your questions. He draws near to the brokenhearted, not away. He does not need you to be strong for him to stay. He stays because he is strong when you are not. He holds what you can't. He carries what's crushing you. He breathes when you cannot catch your breath. And he promises, this will not be the end of your story. Pain speaks loudly. It tells you you're forgotten, that you're failing, that you're not enough. But God's whisper is deeper than the pain. He says, you are still mine, you are still loved, you are still seen. Even here, you don't have to pretend in his presence. You don't have to perform to be held. Your rawness doesn't scare him. Your tears don't inconvenience him. Your anger doesn't drive him away. He understands. More than you think. He was broken too. He knows betrayal. He knows abandonment. He knows agony that splits the soul. And he entered into it, not to avoid your pain but to redeem it. To remind you that resurrection only comes after crucifixion. That healing often begins in the dark. So if today all you have is a breath and a broken heart, that's enough, because he is near, and he is not done. Let him sit with you. Let him hold the pieces. Let him remind you. He still calls you by name. Not your shame, not your fear, not your failure, your name. The world may define you by what you've lost. But God defines you by who you are to him. Not discarded, not damaged, but deeply loved, eternally chosen, and still held. You don't need to fix everything today. You don't need to have answers. You don't need to rush the process. You just need to let him in. Let him walk with you through the rubble. Let him whisper hope into the silence. Let him breathe life into the places you've already buried. Because he's not intimidated by broken things. In fact, he specializes in them. He rebuilds. He restores. He makes beauty rise from ashes and purpose emerge from pain. You are not alone in this valley. And you are not forgotten in the darkness. He sees you. He hears you. He's been waiting for you to pause long enough to hear him whisper back. I'm still here, and I still have plans for you. So don't give up yet. This is not how your story ends. It's how your healing begins. There's a gentleness in God that the broken come to know. Not the loud declarations of strength, but the soft reminders that he is near. The kind that wraps around you when your soul is too weary to stand. That kind of whisper doesn't demand your performance. It invites your presence. Sometimes the greatest healing comes not from fixing what's broken but from being fully seen while still broken. God says, you don't have to run anymore. Run from what hurts. Run from who left. Run from the echo of failure that haunts your memory. Stop running. He's not chasing you to punish. He's coming to restore. The deepest healing doesn't always look like miracles in the sky. Sometimes it looks like steady breath returning to anxious lungs. Like tears that finally fall after being held in too long. Like a small smile after days of numbness. That's healing too. If your heart is heavy today, know this: God is not rushing you. He's walking at your pace. He knows how to mend the soul with patience. He knows how to speak in silence. He knows how to sit in the ache and not demand you move before you're ready. There is no shame in being broken. There is no failure in being tired. There is no weakness in needing rest. God is not disappointed in you. He is not shaking his head, waiting for you to get your act together. He's waiting for you to realize, he never expected you to do this alone. Even when you feel abandoned, you're not. Even when it's quiet, he's still speaking. Even when you feel numb, his presence surrounds you still. You are not a burden. You are not too much. You are not forgotten. You are loved. Right here, right now, exactly as you are. This moment may feel like an end, but it's not. It's a turning point, a sacred pause, a space where God isn't asking you to perform, he's asking you to receive. To receive his comfort, his grace, his assurance that even this chapter, as painful as it is, has purpose. What if your brokenness isn't your disqualification, but your doorway? What if the cracks in your heart are the very places his light enters in? You don't need to have it all together. You just need to be open. Healing is not linear. Some days will feel like progress, others like you're going backward. But every step, even the messy ones, count. God is not keeping score. He's keeping you, holding you through each breath, each breakdown, each breakthrough. You've survived things that would have ended others. And while you may feel like just surviving isn't enough, it is. Because survival means there's still a story unfolding, still a reason you're here. Your breath is evidence that heaven hasn't given up on you, and neither should you. So when your thoughts are loud, and hope feels distant, whisper this truth to yourself: I am still his. I am still here, and I am still loved. You are being rebuilt, not rushed, rewritten, not erased, held, not discarded. Let the healing take its time. Let God take his time with you. He's not in a hurry, because you are worth every second. There is a kind of holy strength that rises in the broken. It doesn't look like the world's definition of power. It's quieter, deeper, born not from pride, but from perseverance. It comes from being crushed and still choosing to breathe, from losing and still choosing to love, from being emptied and still choosing to hope. God sees that strength in you. He placed it there. The enemy thought your breaking would be your end. But heaven knew better. Heaven knew that in your breaking, something sacred would emerge, a tenderness, a compassion, a clarity you never had before. Because those who have walked through the fire carry a fire of their own. You may not feel strong. You may feel fragile, exhausted, worn out from the fight. But strength isn't the absence of pain. It's the courage to keep showing up in the middle of it. God is not disappointed in your process. He is proud of your persistence. He is not expecting perfection. He is honoring your willingness. You've kept moving. You've kept seeking. You've kept choosing to believe even with trembling hands. That is strength. And in time, your story will carry healing not just for you, but for others. Because what God redeems, he also reassigns. You were not just broken for nothing. You were broken so that when someone else is hurting, you'll recognize the sound of their silence. And instead of offering empty words, you'll offer presence, compassion, a reminder that they're not alone. Pain connects us, but redemption defines us. So let God finish what he started. Don't rush to escape the valley. There are treasures hidden here. Lessons you can't learn on mountaintops. Intimacy with God you can't discover in comfort. Let the valley become sacred. Let your brokenness become holy. Because God isn't just trying to heal you. He's trying to transform you. To the world, it may seem like you're falling apart. But to heaven, you're being remade. Your identity isn't in your pain. It's in your perseverance. And God will not let one tear you've cried be wasted. Every ounce of sorrow is being sown into something eternal. And you don't have to do this alone. Let God hold your hand. Let Him walk you through the shadows. Let Him be the voice that interrupts your despair with gentle truth. You are not your trauma. You are not your past. You are not the worst thing that ever happened to you. You are a child of God. And no amount of brokenness can change that. He's not waiting for you to become whole to love you. He's loving you back into wholeness. Piece by piece, moment by moment. In the darkness, He speaks light. In the silence, He sings over you. In the chaos, He becomes your stillness. And maybe you can't feel it yet. Maybe all of this feels far away. But healing often begins before we feel it. Restoration often starts when nothing looks different on the outside. Trust that something sacred is already shifting inside of you. Trust that God is closer than the breath you just took. And trust that one day, you will look back on this moment not with shame, but with awe. Because it was here, in the valley of your breaking, that your healing truly began. There's something holy about a soul that refuses to quit. Not because it never struggled, but because it never surrendered to despair. That's what you are, holy in your persistence, sacred in your stillness, precious even in your questions. God has not forgotten where you are. Sometimes, in the darkness, it's hard to believe in light, but the truth is, your current season is not your final sentence. What looks like the end is often the beginning of something deeper. God doesn't measure your worth by your progress. He measures it by His presence, and He's still here. He's still whispering when the night is long. Still holding you when your strength runs out. Still believing in the you that you've given up on. Don't rush past the pain. It's okay to grieve, to feel, to not be okay. Healing is not about pretending. It's about permission. And God gives you permission to fall apart in His hands. Because His hands are the only ones that know how to hold what's shattered without breaking it further. His hands are gentle enough to heal, strong enough to carry, and sovereign enough to redeem every chapter. So breathe again, not because everything makes sense, but because He's in the unknown with you. Breathe, even when the weight is heavy. And listen, He's saying, I still choose you, I still love you, I still have more. You don't need to understand it to trust it. You just need to rest in it. In Him, the broken do not disqualify themselves from His promises. They become the very vessels through which His glory shines the brightest. Because when all else is stripped away, all that's left is what's real. And His love for you is real, unshakable, undeniable, unrelenting. Even when your hands are empty, your heart still matters to God. Even when your voice is silent, your presence moves Him. Even when your eyes are filled with tears, He sees the faith it takes to simply exist another day. You may not have the words, but He hears your silence like a song. You may not feel strong, but your endurance is worship. You may feel lost, but His arms are wide open. He hasn't left, not for 1 second. Not for one breath. He's walked with you through every lonely hallway, every hospital room, every sleepless night, every quiet breakdown behind closed doors. He was there, and He still is. So don't hide from Him now. Bring the raw pieces, bring the numbness, bring the disbelief, bring it all. He can handle the full weight of you. You were never asked to be perfect. You were asked to be present. Let Him be the one who carries you through this valley. Let His whisper be louder than your wounds. Let His gaze remind you, this is not your end. It's your becoming, your return, your resurrection. Let hope take root again. Not all at once, just enough to keep walking, just enough to breathe today, just enough to whisper, maybe, just maybe, I'm not forgotten. You're not. You're remembered. You're chosen. You're deeply, eternally loved. There is a stillness God offers that doesn't remove all storms, but silences the ones within you. The storms of doubt, fear, shame, and hopelessness. He doesn't promise every external wave will stop, but He does promise to be the anchor when the tide rises. You've been tossed for too long, trying to stay afloat in waters you were never meant to swim alone. But God's hand is not too short to save, and His grip is not too weak to hold. When He says He's with you, He means in the full weight of your sorrow, not as a distant observer, but as a present Savior. Somewhere along the way, you were convinced that your brokenness made you unworthy of nearness. But what if it's your brokenness that draws Him even closer? The shepherd doesn't abandon the wounded sheep. He carries it. He doesn't rebuke the bleeding. He bandages them. He doesn't wait at the finish line. He walks every inch of the valley with you. So let go of the pressure to be okay. Let go of the narrative that says healing must be quick or loud or impressive. God is not measuring your pace. He's walking with you at the speed of love. Even now, when it all feels like too much, when you want to quit, when you're not sure you'll make it through tomorrow, He is sustaining you. And you will make it. Not by your might, not by your perfection, but by His grace. His power is made perfect in your weakness, not your strength. So rest in that. Let His voice be louder than the noise. Let His nearness be your comfort. You are not too far gone. You are not behind. You are exactly where He knew you'd be, and He's prepared the way forward. Even here, there is hope, and it's not the loud, flashing kind of hope. It's the kind that grows quietly in the dark. The kind that says, maybe I'll try again tomorrow. The kind that doesn't shout, but whispers. Don't give up, because healing doesn't always look like running. Sometimes it looks like standing still. Sometimes it looks like crawling. And sometimes, the greatest act of faith is breathing through the night, waiting for the light. You have not been disqualified by your struggle. You've been shaped by it. God's presence is not proven by perfect days. It's revealed in the days you barely survived, and yet somehow still did. This is not wasted. This breaking, this wilderness, this ache, it's producing something eternal. It's loosening your grip on what was never meant to stay and anchoring you in something unshakable. So don't be afraid of the slow days, the quiet moments, the unseen progress. These are holy grounds. These are sacred steps. You don't need to explain your pain to be loved through it. You don't need to articulate your sorrow for God to sit with you in it. You don't need to prove your faith for Him to remain faithful. He is not going anywhere. He is not waiting for the storm to clear before He moves. He is in the storm with you. And even now, He's saying, you are not too broken to be loved. You are not too far gone to be used. You are not forgotten in this. You are remembered. You are redeemed. You are still His. There is a fire that God lights in the heart of the broken. Not a fire of destruction, but of refining. A flame that burns away the lies spoken over your life. A holy fire that exposes the gold within the ashes. You may not feel it now, but you are being refined, not ruined. What feels like the end is actually the forging. God is forming a resilience in you that cannot be faked, a depth that can't be rushed, a compassion that can't be taught in classrooms, only learned in the furnace of suffering. You are being made whole in ways you don't yet understand, and your scars will not disqualify you. They will become your testimony. So let Him keep working, even when you can't see the progress. Let Him hold you when you feel undone. Let Him whisper into the places you've shut down. Because He's not finished. And the you that emerges from this will be stronger. Not harder, but deeper. Not bitter, but kinder. Not colder, but wiser. This is the work of redemption. This is the slow miracle of restoration. And right here in the middle, God is asking you not to give up. Not to walk away, not to silence the hope that still flickers deep inside. You're not crazy for believing in better. You're not foolish for hoping again. You're not weak for needing grace every day. You are exactly who He says you are. Chosen, loved, kept, becoming. He sees what no one else sees. The fight in your heart. The prayers you never voiced. The tears that have dried on your pillow. He collects them all. He holds them close. And when the world moves on, He stays. When others don't understand, He does. When you feel unworthy, He declares, "You are mine." You don't have to feel spiritual to be loved. You don't have to be strong to be supported. You don't have to be seen by others to be held by God. He's not asking you to climb a mountain right now. He's simply asking you to take the next breath, to lean into the comfort of His presence, to let go of trying to be everything to everyone, and allow yourself to be carried. This isn't a season of pretending. It's a season of permission. Permission to be broken. Permission to be healing. Permission to be in process. God isn't ashamed of your journey. He's proud of your courage to keep walking, to keep seeking, to keep hoping when nothing in your reality tells you it's safe to. That's faith, and it moves His heart. You may not feel strong, but you're standing. You may not see light, but you're looking. You may not have words, but you're still listening. And in that space, God meets you, not with demands, not with judgment, but with love so fierce it breaks every chain, and with grace so deep it drowns every lie. This is where your soul begins to rise again. This is where hope starts breathing. This is where everything begins to shift. You don't have to pretend you're okay to be loved by God. He's not drawn to your mask. He's drawn to your truth, your honest heart, your weary soul, your tired eyes, all of it. The broken don't repel Him, they reveal Him. When you've run out of words, He hears your tears. When you've stopped trying, He steps in. When you're too weak to reach out, He reaches in. Right here in the middle of your lowest moment, He is lifting you, not because you earned it, but because you're His. There's nothing more powerful than a heart that refuses to close, even after being crushed. And your heart, though bruised, is still open. That's courage. That's worship. That's transformation. God is not pacing nervously, wondering if you'll make it. He knows you will, not because you're capable on your own, but because He is carrying you every step. You were not built to break. You were made to bend, to adapt, to heal, and to rise again. This season will not define you. God will. This pain will not name you. His promise will. And even in this moment, as you listen, something within you is stirring. Something ancient, something holy, a remembrance of who you truly are beneath all the disappointment, beneath all the grief. You are a child of the Most High, and He is not done writing your story. Not here, not now. He's still writing redemption into every line. So don't rush to escape what you're feeling. Don't numb it, don't dismiss it, let it speak, because the pain has something to teach you, not about how weak you are, but about how deep you go. The depth of your sorrow reveals the capacity of your soul, and God has placed eternity inside you. That's why temporary wounds hurt so deeply, they echo into forever. But that's also why healing from God runs deeper than anything this world can wound you with. He's not intimidated by your darkness. He's the light that darkness cannot comprehend. So bring your shadows into His presence. Bring your regrets, your shame, your loneliness. Lay them bare before the One who already sees. He is not looking for your performance. He's looking for your presence. And when you come, even broken, He rejoices, not because of what you offer, but because of who you are. You're His, fully, unconditionally, forever. Let that truth root itself deep, deeper than fear, deeper than shame, deeper than despair. Let it become your foundation. You are still becoming, and becoming takes time. But you're not behind. You're not broken beyond repair. You're not too much or too late. You are exactly where God wants to meet you. And He will finish what He started in you, not because of your strength, but because of his faithfulness. There's something sacred about the broken who choose to hope again. Something powerful in those who return to God. Not with strength, but with surrender. With arms limp from battle. With hearts weary from loss. And yet, they come. You came. That matters more than you know. He sees the effort it took to keep breathing. To rise when the weight begged you to fall. To whisper, yes, to a God you couldn't always feel. He counts those moments as victories. As worship. You're not weak. You're brave. The bravest people are often the ones no one sees. The ones who keep showing up when they have every reason to give up. The ones who refuse to let bitterness win. The ones who cry in secret and believe in silence. You are one of them. And heaven is moved by your perseverance. Let these words remind you. You are still chosen. You are still seen. You are still wanted by the one who knows every crack in your soul and loves you entirely. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to earn his affection. You simply need to receive it. Let it wash over you like rain on parched ground. Let it soften the parts of you that have gone numb. Let it breathe life into the parts you thought were dead. Because they're not dead, they're dormant. And God is awakening them. Not with force, but with love. He doesn't need you to fake strength. He desires your authenticity, your willingness to sit with him in the dust. To cry when you must. To scream when it hurts. To be real. You don't have to spiritualize your suffering to make it holy. It's already holy because he's in it with you. Your wounds don't repel him, they draw him near. Because the healer comes to where the hurting are. He came for the sick, not the healthy, for the broken, not the whole. And if you are broken today, you are exactly the kind of person Jesus pursued. Still pursues. You're the one he leaves the 99 for. You're the one he fights for in silence. You're the one he's been holding while you questioned if he was still there. He never left. So don't let the enemy lie to you any longer. Don't let shame write your narrative. Don't let fear be your final word. Let God's truth redefine you. You are not too shattered to shine. You are not too lost to be led. You are not too burdened to be lifted. You are still a vessel. You still carry promise. You still carry purpose. And no pain, no loss, no failure can erase that. The fire of his love still burns for you. And it's not too late to be set ablaze again. This is your invitation, not to fix yourself, not to have all the answers, not to pretend you're okay, but to come, just as you are. God isn't waiting for the perfect version of you. He's calling the present you, the broken, tired, doubting, searching, hurting you, because that version is real. And real is where healing begins. You don't have to tidy up your emotions before you enter his presence. He's already seen them. You don't have to make sense of your pain before you hand it to him. He already understands it. Come undone. Come overwhelmed. Come as the one who's barely hanging on. Because he's not intimidated by your fragility. He's drawn to it. There's something about the humility of desperation that moves heaven. Not because God requires your suffering, but because in your surrender, you make space for him to be everything you cannot. So stop hiding. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not too broken. You are exactly where mercy meets you. And mercy doesn't scold you. It lifts you. It wraps around your shame and speaks identity. It walks into your chaos and plants peace. It rewrites the script of failure with the promise of a future. And that's what this moment is. A future being written. One that doesn't end in despair. One that doesn't climax in your lowest valley. One that keeps going. Because God doesn't end stories in tombs. He ends them in resurrection. And what has felt dead, your dreams, your hope, your joy, he is breathing on it now. He is stirring the dry bones. He is lighting the cold heart. He is lifting the bowed head. You are not forsaken. You are fought for. Even now, He's whispering to your soul, "Daughter, son, rise again, I'm not finished." Let that whisper carry you through the darkness. Let it remind you that survival is not your ceiling, abundance is. Let it provoke your courage to try one more time, to pray one more prayer, to believe for one more miracle. You are not the sum of your disappointments. You are not the echo of your failures. You are not defined by what broke you. You are defined by the one who is healing you. And He is not done. Not today. Not ever. Your breakthrough is not behind you. It's before you. Your story isn't closing. It's turning a page. And this chapter, though painful, is one you'll one day point back to and say, "That's where God met me. That's where He found you. That's where the turning began." There's something shifting in the atmosphere of your heart. A sense that though everything around you may still look the same, something within is waking up. It's subtle, gentle, but it's real. God is stirring something eternal inside you. A quiet strength, a deep resolve, a whisper of hope that dares to believe again. You've been through more than most people know. Fought silent battles, endured hidden wounds, and yet, here you are, listening, breathing, open, and that openness is enough. Enough for God to work with. Enough for Him to move. Enough for Him to rebuild what was lost. You don't need a map. You just need the next step. You don't need clarity. You just need courage. You don't need the full picture. You just need the light of His presence guiding the way. And He will guide you. Not with pressure, but with peace. Not with shame, but with grace. Not with fear, but with love. Because that's who He is. And you, beloved, are not forgotten in this process. You are being refined by it. Every tear you've cried has watered the soil of your future. Every prayer you've whispered has built the foundation of your tomorrow. Every act of faith, no matter how small, has been seen. He's collecting your faithfulness like treasures. So don't despise the slow days. Don't resent the hidden seasons. They're sacred. They're shaping you in ways the spotlight never could. This is the quiet strength of the broken, the resilience to rise without applause, to keep walking without recognition, to believe without guarantees. You've done that. You're doing that now. And God is smiling over you. He delights in your journey, not just your destination. He celebrates your obedience, not just your outcomes. And today, He's speaking over you with tenderness. You're still mine. That hasn't changed, not because you've been perfect, but because His love doesn't waver. It's steady, like a lighthouse in a storm, like a hand reaching through the dark, like a voice calling your name with unwavering kindness. So take a breath, feel the weight lift, not because everything is fixed, but because you are held. You are safe, you are loved, and no part of your pain is wasted. He is redeeming every fragment. He is rebuilding every ruin. He is restoring your soul. Right now, even as you listen, even as you hope again. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of something sacred. Something only God can orchestrate. Something born not from ease, but from endurance. Not from applause, but from intimacy. You've been walking through a valley, and the shadows have felt endless. But here's the truth you need to hear. Valleys don't last forever. And even in the shadows, God is moving. He's rebuilding trust. He's rekindling hope. He's restoring vision. And He's doing it quietly, deeply, faithfully. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't lost your chance. You haven't fallen too far. You are still the one He's calling. Still the one He's equipping. Still the one He's shaping for something more. Your pain is not pointless. It's preparing you for a life more anchored, more tender, more true, for a ministry born not of hype but of healing, for a testimony that cannot be shaken because it was built in the storm. And while the world rewards speed, God honors depth. You are not behind. You are right on time in His hands. So take one more step. Lift your head. Breathe. Because the fire isn't here to destroy you. It's here to refine you. And from these ashes, beauty will rise. This is not your breakdown. This is your breakthrough. Even now, something inside you is shifting. There's clarity where there was confusion. There's peace where there was panic. There's strength where there was only survival. God is doing a new thing. And it's starting in the deepest parts of you. This is your moment to embrace the flame. Not the fire that consumes, but the fire that consecrates. The fire that purifies, not punishes. The fire that reminds you, you are still called, still chosen, still beloved. Let this be the chapter where you say, I chose faith over fear. I chose healing over hiding. I chose to rise. And if this message has spoken to your spirit, if you felt seen, known, and stirred by these words, I invite you now, take a moment to like this message. Share it with someone who needs it. Leave a comment, and subscribe so you never miss another whisper from the heart of God. One simple action could bring life to someone else's valley. Because you're not the only one breaking. But you might be the one carrying the hope someone else needs to keep going. And that, beloved, is holy. That is fire. That is God alive in you.